All right. Cold water offers an additional challenge in that there's the physiological effects and there's just kind of the effects on your mind of what it's like getting into cold water, right? I don't think it's going to be so bad today. I was up in Hague Lake, Oregon last week, 59 degrees. That was definitely going to take your breath away cold. The most important thing is controlling your breath. So cannot stress enough, you have to control your breath. When you get into the water, first of all, when you show up on race day and it's cold, you're going to do exactly like you're doing right now. You're wearing your wetsuit before the race. All right, keep as much, body heat in as you can before you get into open water. You don't want to start cold before you hit the cold water. On shore, there's a couple things you can do. I saw a couple of you, I don't know if it was strategic or you just wanted your morning coffee, but like putting a warm beverage in you. And if you're not a coffee drinker, probably not the time to start, but just warm water. And I don't mean 16 ounces 5 minutes before the race, but just a little bit of water can go a long way. I mean, this is taken directly from the textbooks for mountain and ocean rescue. Putting a little bit of warm water inside your trunk can help a lot. So just sip a little bit of that before you go in. If you're doing the warm water, perhaps not recommended if you're drinking the latte, but if you're drinking the warm water, actually putting some in your suit before you hit open water, not a bad idea. The suit doesn't keep you warm. The suit traps water between your body and the suit, and then your body heats that water up, and that's what keeps you warm. So if we already kind of season the suit, a little bit with some water, that keeps up while you're on shore, that can help. Know that when you get in the water with a dry suit, you're not going to get that water in the suit until you get to a certain depth, because you got to hit the level of the zipper, right? Kind of that low bath before the water comes in and you get a little bit cold. So it'll take a little while for the suit to fill up and even longer for that water to heat up. When you do make that entry into the water, my recommendation is to keep moving, all right? So you're going to keep moving. That means here we have a pretty decent little, ramp going down. You could stand there in navel deep water and just lament how cold it is for a pretty extended period of time. Nothing positive will come of that, I assure you. So keep moving, ladies right above the navel, dudes, maybe perhaps a little bit lower than that is where your sticking point. But you have to keep moving. Again, we don't want to sit there and be cold. That doesn't mean you have to jump in and start swimming, all right? At least freestyle. But get in the water and side stroke, breaststroke, do whatever you have to do before you have completely regulated your breath, and not until you've completely regulated your breath do you then go and start with your face in the water. So again, I started by saying breath is key. I'm going to say it again, your breath is key, and in cold water it can be even harder to manage, all right? Other little tips and tricks, Peggy has the neoprene skull cap underneath the normal cap. You can actually retain a lot of heat in your head by just doing a silicone cap underneath the thin little latex cap that they're going to give you on race day. All right, so it doesn't have to be a big thick neoprene one if that feels bulky or restrictive to you. And then the other thing is, some people do find huge benefit to earplugs. So do, whether they're the wax or whichever style you want, but just keeping cold water out of your ears can keep your head warm. So wetsuit, caps, earplugs, all important, and then just how you approach the swim. Questions on cold water? Old pros?
No, this lake when it's warm. Thank you.
Half Moon Bay was your face fall off cold.
Half Moon Bay?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So what did you guys do to adapt to that?
Well, we weren't sure, but I made him get in the water and get out, run and get in the water and get out, run. Because before we were going in the water, Linda was shivering already.
Yeah.
And so that kind of worried me, but that's what we did.
Yeah, so some races you don't have the luxury of timing your warm-up. When you do have the luxury of timing your warm-up, so like here at this try, like swim course is over here, you can warm up pretty much as you want over here. So do get in the water, do warm up, and time that warm up to finish as close as you can to the start of the race. Don't warm up and then stand around freezing on shore for an extended period of time.
Yeah, well, we spent so much time warming up, we missed the start.
Yeah, there's that too. Not
By like 2 minutes, I'm like, really?
not recommended
we had to
either.
swim out to the start. And you know, it didn't look that far until we started swimming.
Truth comes out now about this race
Yeah.
before I
John's over on the side going, yeah, go. We give him a hug. We're like, oh, crap.
The horn goes, wee! Like, oh well.
So finish that start as close as you can, but before
Yeah,
the start of your race.
exactly.
And if you do, like, there are some races that will close down the swim warm up because it's basically on the race course.
Yeah.
If that's the case, and you have to be on shore, I think you do the right thing. You just have to keep moving. You know, you got to make that call first of all. Are you going to get in the water and get wet before the start? Because even if there's not a time to warm up, you're going to be going in waves and all like this. So you have like a minute to get in, to go out, get the suit wet, swim a little bit for just a few seconds, and come back on shore. But if you are stuck on the shore, keep moving, run, do whatever you got to do.
Yeah. And then they had a warm water pool where you could fill up your wetsuit with warm water.
Nice.
We didn't do it because I didn't know if that would make the water seem colder when it got in.
No, it'll stay in your suit a little bit. You know, like cold water will come through, but if you can heat that up ahead of time, that's just like me saying
That's
pour the
the
warm
old
water.
pro tip right there. Just not for triathlons, for surfing. Take
Yeah.
a whiz in it right before you get in
Oh,
the
yeah,
water.
there's
You can do
always
that
that.
too. Yeah.
But with the warm water pool, then when we got out, we had to run like a third of a mile back to transition.
Yeah, that kind of
But
stuff.
you could put your feet in the warm water pool because they were freezing before you started running.
That's
That
cool.
was nice.
But if anybody's freezing after they swim, you can stop by my house.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to go to work.
All right, that's what I got. Who's your buddy?
Swimming together, Sadie.
Well, I'm slow.